The Brawlers Guild will return, which is our next story.
It will, yeah.
Don't know why I did it like that. Whatever. Brawlers Guild is back. Archaeology, not a profession in the future if it does come back.
This is interesting. They're just like, yeah, archaeology is probably, it's not come back as previous format or as professions. You're like, what's it going to be?
They love the fantasy, though.
Yeah. Delves too. They experimented with the Azeroth Archives. That was obvious. We were like, was this the archaeology we wanted all along? And then no one liked it, and then went, no, it wasn't. Next, please. Try again, thank you. Brawlers Guild a little bit just literally evergreen format, not right away, which implies they're hoping for a very nice mid expansion. Because as we discovered in Dragonflight, they are no longer the company that goes, you've got an expansion, no fucking ask us for anything for 2 years. They're now you've got an expansion, would you like some more, sir or ma'am? And you're like, fucking, do I have to pay more? Like, yeah, your sub, you're like, oh yeah, fuck, that's right, shit, we are paying for patches, damn. But yeah, so that's nice. I think the Brawler Guild is fantastic.
As opposed to paying for nothing.
Yeah.
It's a massive improvement.
It's fucking huge.
Yeah. It actually reminds me of being a Battlefield fan, where you're sitting there in the Battlefield live service where you've got 2 maps, remembering the good old days when there was a map pack every quarter and the game ended with like 40 maps and it was immense.
Yeah.
Imagine returning to a time where we could simply pay for content, get content, happy.
See, this is why I play gacha games. I don't have to pay for content. Someone else is paying it for me.
True.
Which is a horrible thing to say. It's like, yeah, what's that? Some fucking Chinese software engineers like putting like $40,000 here into fucking Honkai Star Rail, so I don't have to give them a cent.
It's like that or Evergrande.
Yeah, that's true.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, so I enjoy that. I it's immoral of me, but I do enjoy that. I'm not always good.
Your entertainment is benefiting from gambling.
It sure is.
Yeah, true.
And I have moral quandaries with that.
Really?
Yes, but never when I'm playing them. I'm too busy going, that cinematic was sick.
That's when it matters.
I'm just like, that was really cool. MiHoYo Merchants winning again. Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Honestly, pretty good. Pretty exciting.
Brawl's great. I hope in their evergreen ideas, I hope they bring some of the older stuff back, because it's just too good to be wasted. Especially when by design, realistically, a lot of those things ended up being so agnostic that you could just go, fuck it, do a stick and evoker in that fight. But evokers run around whatever, it's fine. Whatever, they shoot spells to do damage, and they don't stand in stuff that kills them. And they've got defensives. It's all the same framework of a class, so it should just work in Brawlers Guild. So I hope they are able to restore some of that old stuff. But like, yeah, fuck it, we can have the Super Hexagon fight. Just fire it in there. We can have the Paladin Boy fight. I can't remember what it was. But you have to do whatever during his like bubble to break it. Stuff like that was cool as shit. And I like, this is very much me thinking.
all during Mists of Pandaria.
The best expansion we've ever had.
There was something about the intersection of, I guess, just a lot of an era of that team kind of cresting sort of before ending up, moving on to other things.
Yeah, I actually feel like that's my current explanation is World of Warcraft ended with Mists of Pandaria and then started again a wee bit, and it was fucking sick, and then it was great, and then a wee bit shite, and then good again. Just took them a long time to find their feet, which is to do with, I would immediately take this into a direction of going, nurture your talent, blah, 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 blah. But with a long-running game...
My God, Matt, you commie.
Yeah, but with the long-running game like World of Warcraft, you completely understand why you would like... And I know there were issues at Blizzard and stuff that caused this as well.
Yeah.
But like theoretically, it's like... the FF14 team is a bit of an outlier, I think. Them been like, we're chilling for like 10 years, we're going to fucking keep doing this until we're all dead. You're like, Jesus Christ. Whereas like someone's like, I've been working on World of Warcraft for 10 years. I would like to do anything different, please. I could totally see that vibe. So it's like a bit different for WoW in that era, where it's like it's going to be a struggle to keep people on beyond the point they're interested. But if you have people, and I think the current dev team are very good at taking ownership of World of Warcraft in a bunch of ways. Some to a degree that's a little bit too much. I literally don't know specific names. I'm just thinking about like vibes from playing it and things like. like what changes have come in, and like it is their game, but it's also, you know, it's a descendant of their, or it's their game, but it's a descendant of another game kind of vibes. So there's a lot of that. You know, go play Persona 4 and have all the stories about, you know, you could go trying to, you know, be the proprietor of the family inn and like the family hand like responsibility to carry the family business stuff. There's a little bit of that happening.
Of course, the old generation of Quest is, haha, blood elf males, gay, beer, motorcycles.
Yeah, and this one's like, this current one is, haha, blood elves gay. That's a good thing. Which is very different. But
the
like,
day the Deathwing came, the most endlessly re-talked about Quest.
yeah. So like, there's certainly like a bit of talent, like nurturing to do there and cultivation, which I think is perfect for the Brawlers Guild, because I really do think there's a. I was talking about this because I was talking about this yesterday when doing mop and like going through some of the boss fight, like seeing how different the raids felt, how different dungeons even felt at times. Obviously, some of them have been sort of reworked for modern stuff, but with how dungeons feel different, how raids feel different, how quests feel so much different, and how questing hubs feel different, and they've learned new lessons. There's a lot of it to me comes across as that this is clearly a different game, made by different people, and I think the Brawlers Guild is the perfect example of. Would you like to give someone, and I know they have internal experiments that don't ever see light of day, so it's not like people, but like you can't be on production tasks all day long forever. You might need that for your production to work, but it's going to ultimately result in some sort of sterility or staleness, which is why Brawlers Guild is a perfect example of them. And like this is why I really love the mop remix experiments. While I actually don't really personally agree that World of Warcraft should move towards a more RPG route in any of its core content, I hope that maybe they'll learn some lessons about progression that'll like merge back in quite nicely.
Yeah.
Or the Plunderstorm experiment where they get to experiment more with gameplay and gameplay design. The reason I was super happy about that more than anything else was I just imagined being like being on the dev team, able to go, what do we get to do? Like super real time World of Warcraft content that's not tab targeting. Holy fuck! And you can even tell like you'll immediately see throughout the War Within stuff that. You went, oh, they learned how to do that in Plunderstorm. You'll see that in patch content. You go, oh, they learned how to do that. An example, I think, is actually, and apologies if the segment's running on a little bit, I do actually think it's pretty important. There's a bunch of the things with the Doom timer and the Ritual timer from the Warlock tree. That's clearly something they learned how to do new. They could decrement a buff duration based on some other thing, because I've never seen that before, and now they're like, yeah, we just use it fucking ever. And it's like, being able to step outside your boundaries to make something new is literally learning new skills, trying new things, teaching new things. And one of the reasons I'm super like Brawlers Guild ties into this, because the Brawlers Guild is a perfect way to test design, the test agnostic design. Would we have gotten the Mage Tower if we didn't get the Brawlers Guild first? Probably not, because that was able to test out what solo boss fight design looks like. It's why I'm super happy for Delves having an opportunity to give a little bit more of that kind of stuff. And some of the Delves are clearly, they're like, it's what have we got? Spinny boss man chases you, fuck whatever. And like, I'm sure there'll be others that will be like more interesting and more unique. Because there's the version of, I need this done this week, and I've got a week to try stuff out, and then I'll do it next week. And there's big differences there. So I think Brawlers Guild being low stakes, let's try something new, will be ultimately super helpful for the health of the game, in the same way all the current experiments are, where I expect to see a lot of mop remix stuff woven back into the game at some point, be it the currency like philosophy, or be it in like the Tinker Gem builds, anything like that. I can completely imagine that. And one of the reasons I think this a lot is actually the Hi-Fi Rush stuff recently, because that GDC talk went up with the director of Hi-Fi Rush going like, and this is how we made the game, more or less. Here's how we took a team that was like, we were known for horror games because we made the Evil Within and Evil Within 2, and he was a director on Evil Within 2, and they prototyped Hi-Fi Rush in 9 months. Him and the lead programmer made a prototype that you could swear to God looks like the fucking game, just with no assets in terms of how it looks and plays.
It was
and
a full
everything.
grey box.
It was full grey box, but everything looked fucking fantastic. And they said they worked backwards, where they made the final version and then worked back, as opposed to taking everything and moving forward towards the final version. They had the final version basically in their heads, completely cleared, all the devs. We're making this. You know, it's a sort of version of like you know, do you work towards a recipe in the kitchen, or do you go to the kitchen and go, I've got these ingredients, I'll fucking fire stuff together. It's like it's much handier if you know what your end goal is going to be.
There's no screenshots of the grey box about. At least that are indexed by Google.
I
might
probably
take
not.
a look at that later.
I would highly recommend watching the presentation. It is fucking excellent. They have, and the reason I bring this up is because they did the most unbelievable success of that game, and the unbelievable like story of we had a small team and we had like 2 dudes prototyped it for 9 months, and then we just kept going. We worked backwards on it, and it blew everyone's fucking mind from this like intense vision. And then Xbox let them go, and I'm like, after watching, I was like, you had a team that could make, and obviously it's like they, you know, what's the chance of doing it again? Hard to say, right? But no, let's see in the future. But they're like, okay, you had a team of people who are really fucking good at literally making a game from scratch based on an insane vision from a director in pretty decent time period. A lot of what made it good was constant iteration, which they had a lot of time to do. But like they made the game super, super fast and super like effectively. Learned a shit ton of lessons about how to work and how to work together and how to solve all these problems. Like, yeah, goodbye. You're like, bro, if I had the money, if I was running a studio, the amount of fucking emails I would send Johannes' way, they'd be like, please come work for me. Holy fuck.
No.
Because of the talent cultivation and acquisition, from experimentation, from prototyping, from having that time in the trenches.
Economic headwinds, sorry.
Yeah.
The wins, champion.
Yeah, so like you look at... here's a fun example. There was a stage that was too long. So they cut the middle of the stage out. There's a whole like maybe like a third of a stage. Maybe like 30, 40 minutes of gameplay that they just cut from the game. Because they're like, that feels a bit long, fuck it, whatever. And you're like, damn, nice. And
it's all of those soft factors that lead to a great release.
Yeah.
I don't like that phrase anymore.
Yeah.
Now that phrase just came out of my mouth. But no, I will commit. All of those soft factors that lead to a great release are exactly the thing that the big decision makers do not seem to grasp.
Yes, which is why I'm super happy to see more things like the Brothers Guild and archaeology experiments, because it's like they get to find fun, they get to develop, to develop the developers who will develop the game for the next 10 years.
Oh my God, we're going to make the robot makes the robots that makes the Dyson Swarm.
Except they're humans who they're humans who have developed the creative tools and ability to create art.
No, bullshit. You see, here's the deal, Matt. The Rabbit R1 is powered by a large action model, so all you need to do is fire all of your developers and just buy all the Rabbit R1s and they'll make the game for you.
Why did you not cancel your prototype and download the APK?